Happy Sunday, apprentices. I'm Clayton Allen, host of the Day Trading Plumber podcast and founder of Allen FX. So if you're new to this channel, every Sunday I run through all of the currency pairs we trade over here at Allen FX. And we look for support and resistance areas or zones on a daily time frame. Now, guys, it doesn't mean we take a trade the second price gets in there. We're just looking for highly probable areas price is definitely going to react to. Let's just put it that way, right? Now, we do tend to see a lot of reversals in these zones, and that's generally what I'm looking for. But also, I drop down to a smaller time frame. I look for price action confirmation of that. Or if we blow through that area, it now becomes a very strong area for a retest. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get on the charts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe here on YouTube. I would love the support. Plus, I'm going to be ramping up my presence here on YouTube now that I have my trading courses pretty much underway and starting to sell them. So if you want to learn how all my strategies, every secret I've learned in the last 10 years, going from being a full-time plumber to now full-time trader, head on over to allenfx.com. The link is down below. There's a button called 1% Club. Click on it, and boom, you're there. All right, let's check it out. Let's look at these. All right, so I'm already on the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar pair. Those of you who are new, I use TradingView charts. And let's just go ahead and take all of my indicators off. We're only looking at support and resistance on the daily zones. So, guys, you can see last week where price shot up, tested the backside of our bearish zone, and man, we got nice, good bearish drop. Well, guess what? We're testing that again. And I'm going to be looking for price. If he comes up into this bearish red, I'm going to be looking for a sell. We could probably kind of adjust our trend line a little bit now that we have a little bit more data. And some of you guys that want to take a much safer long-term trade, you'll wait for this trend line break before you enter. Those of you who trade like I do, a little bit of crazy, a little bit of wild, I take my trade from up here, and then I look at, do I take a small profit off of this bounce, or possibly add to that position and really try to rein in the profits back down to that bullish zone. All right, this one I'm going to leave red because we're close. Let's see what we got cooking on Australian dollar, Swiss franc. Stretch it out a little bit. Sorry. All right, guys. So we have a bullish flag pattern, and we're testing the top of this flag. And guys, we didn't really get that solid of a break, and then we just had this major bearish drop. Now you could say we pretty much broke and possibly retested this bearish flag pattern, or bullish flag pattern. So this play is over. So let's get all this old stuff out. There we go. And now it looks like we're testing this make or break zone, really small make or break zone. Oh, why am I on the hourly? That's why everything's all messed up. All right, sorry guys. I had it on the wrong chart. I had it on my my midweek review chart. So I still like where we have our bullish zone. I'm going to kind of scoot it up a little bit because we have that retest here, confirmation there. I like where we have our resistance because that's where the most recent turn was. And you can see we love that level. Price loves that level. We may just be seeing some fundamental stuff, right? So look at where price got at the depth of COVID, okay? And with everything kind of getting scared back into COVID town, are we going to see this massive drop here? I don't know. So this is the thing, I'm looking at all pairs, right? Because I know here in America, a lot of things are transitioning back. I don't know if globally, if it's such a big issue, if if globally people are getting pushed back into shutdown status. But I know here in the States, that's becoming closer and closer to the reality. So will prices kind of come back close to where we were in the COVID or not? So this one I'm going to make orange. Australian dollar JPY. You can see we kind of straddled price with our alerts here. We could probably scoot this one up. I kind of want to see what happens at that area. I'll be looking for that bullish bounce there. But you can see prices just kind of come up, hovering the pivots. Yep. Now I turn that on. And what we're really looking for now, guys, is what is price going to do at that trend line? Come on, dude. Jeez. What is price going to do at this trend line? And yeah, we're just sideways. Australia dollar, New Zealand. Oh, come on, dude. Australia dollar, New Zealand dollar. All right, let's get rid of some of this BS on here. So I got an alert right here. Obviously a smaller time frame type play. But what I'm looking for is that continuation of this downtrend. If we jump down to a smaller time frame, you can see it's pretty much ready to go on a sell right now, but we're just hugging the pivot. We never got it. I'm going to move this to there because I think we're bearish. We're going to be bearish from where we're at to that area. So out of the gate, I might just be bearish right away on this pair. And I'm going to set this as a take profit and look for what is price going to do at that zone. I know we have our bullish zone all the way down here. I think I'm going, oh man, I think I'm going to move that up to this S1 area. And again, guys, COVID area, beginning of COVID, near the end of COVID, kind of reverting back to the mean right here, right? So are we going to get that push back up to where we were in heavy COVID? I don't know. So Australian dollar, US dollar. So it's no doubt the US dollar has been taking its licking over the bailout funds the feds have so graciously given the banks and us Americans. But I think we've double topped on this pair, and now we're going to see a pretty good drop. If we look at Fibonacci swing low to swing high, we did not pass the 382, and now we've reached that top. So this is one I am going to go hard sell for the next for a while. I think we have great potential on this pair, and we're catching it at a really good spot. So CAD, CHF. Get rid of some of this noise that we got on these smaller time frames. Just so you guys know, if this is first time watching this or you watch this every week, over on TradingView, all week long I do little mini videos on the hourly chart of when I'm getting close to taking a trade. So if you're not a subscriber over on TradingView, please go subscribe or join my free Telegram group. I post all the videos from TradingView in there, and you're going to get all of these videos that I do during the week. As price gets close to one of our zones, I always do a call out. All right, so price definitely respected. It didn't hit. I was looking for a retest of this area, we didn't get that alert, so I'm actually going to get rid of that alert. And we're testing this area again, so I'm turning this red. Now, we always got to be cautious. This could be the time we bust through this level. Okay, guys? So that's why I say in the beginning, it doesn't mean necessarily I just jump right into a trade. Now, we do have a missed pivot from last week, and price pretty much reversed everything it gained on that bullish push. So right now is not a bad time to be looking at, are we going to get that push again? Right here in the zone, it looks like near the end of the trading day last week, we kind of had a little bit of rejection. So not a bad look. I'm actually going to look at this one being purple, my trade of the week in my free Telegram group. All right, so here on CAD JPY, we have a really good support and resistance channel to be playing off. Price is right in the middle, so that's why I have my alert down here. Swiss franc JPY, let's get rid of all this drama. All right, so we were looking for a break of the trend line. We got it, and it's false breakout. So now this is off this double top, okay? So let's just show you guys. So if we go swing low to swing high, we did not break the 382. We double topped. Great place to sell. But some of you more cautious traders, right? We'll just say that. We're waiting for a trend line break. Well, look, if you were waiting for that trend line break, you got caught and not a lot of meat on the bone. So here's a perfect example of why I take my trade right here and why I use Fibonacci to kind of predict or put myself on probability, the side of probability on a double top. So if you take your trade from here and then you wait for that break and then you get false breaked out, you're still in a profitable trade now. But when you saw this, you probably should have closed it for a profit. Now, what are we going to do now on this pair? Well, I'm going to wait for it to test these levels again. And I'm going to probably sell it again from up here. So I like it. I think we're going to get that move eventually. And this is a really strong level. So it is dangerous taking that sell from here, but if it busts through that level, you got a pretty tight, you could be really tight on that stop loss. This one's going to be red for me because I want to be in it. Euro AUD, some bullish action last week on the euro. So here's a perfect example of my make or break zone. Okay, guys, we had this really strong resistance that I kind of put in as a make or break zone. Okay. Well, we broke through it. We retested it and we confirmed it. So this is going long. I hate to tell you guys, but probabilities are now on the side of going long on this pair. Now, me and this pair have a long history, long history of hating each other. So I'm probably not going to jump right into this, especially because I see it rejected at this resistance level. See all these rejections? See this one? See that one? So, where this feels really long, I don't know. Fundamentally, the euro got too strong last week, and now they want to kill it. So be careful. Euro Swiss franc. Okay, same thing. Look, the euro got really strong. And then the last 2 days, we see a decent pullback. So let's look at the Fibonacci, what our Fibonacci's telling us. We're at the 382. So if we don't bust through the 382, I'm going to look for that double top scenario. If we come down to the 618, I'm going to be long. So off the 618, I'm long. Off the 382, I'm short. Hopefully that makes sense. Euro GBP. Again, the euro had quite a week, right? We had this trend line break. We're retesting that trend line. We just hugged it. So I think we're still in play with what our original idea was. Have a good long trend line. We broke the trend line. We're patient. We're waiting for that test, which actually came all the way up to almost a double top. So I'm short this pair out of the gate. I want to be short this pair out of the gate. Euro JPY, same kind of scenario, right, guys? Looks like we are playing on a shorter time frame, trend line break, retest, and now this trade idea is pretty much in some drawdown right now. We're not hurt though. Let's just get rid of that one. It's old. I think we're gonna get some downside pressure on this one. This one is orange. Euro NZD. Same kind of thing. I'm using this arrow kind of as a trend line, but Euro got stronger, guys. Then near the end of the week, we see it's stalling out. This is almost a perfect smaller time double top. Okay, and if we use our Fibonacci, we did not pass 382. So that's why, just fill you in on a little secret, that's a tool I use to predict. And I know we're not supposed to predict, but come on, guys. If someone's telling you, be reactive instead of predictive, that's kind of what we're doing here. We're waiting to see what it does on that Fibonacci retracement, and we're not just predicting that it's going to stay under 382. We're reacting that it didn't. Okay, so there you go. Even though I feel like every time you make a decision in trading, you're still predicting, right? You're still predicting. Yeah, I'll leave this one red. Euro USD. All right. So this pair, when we hit this R2 level, I started looking really short. And you can see it went through a little bit of drawdown. But I like this pair potentially all the way down to the 1.11 levels this week. Only because this pair is super, the two mega powers in the world, and the euro got too strong against the dollar, so they're going to do what they got to do to kill it. I think the dollar is going to have a recovery week, just because we owe people too much money to let our currency, get too weak. Then people lose money. So, you start looking economically or fundamentally, the dollar can't get too weak. And quite honestly, guys, if you're not buying dollars when it's this cheap, it's kind of crazy. Okay. Euro, so I'm going to leave Euro US dollar red because I want to get into it. So we're double topped on Euro Canadian, right? Let's look. Swing low, swing high. Not that great of a break. I mean, kind of went to the 0.5. I'll give you that. So it may break that level, but look how strong of a resistance level that is. So probability tells me I want to come back to that pivot. Coming back, baby. British pound AUD. So it looks like we're almost in a buying scenario. I'm going to wait till we get in this area to buy. Why not? We're closer. Or if we just completely bust through, we're going to reverse that idea. There's a trade idea. We want to sell from up here. So if we come back up to this zone, I'm going to see what we get. I'm going to put an alert right there at the front of it. 70,663. Hey. British pound, Swiss franc. Looks like we are in an area that we've marked as a make or break. I think overall, guys, we're going to see some bullish activity on the British pound this week. I just feel fundamentally it's been strong, and then we had kind of a down flat week with it. So here's a trade that we called out. that went really well because you can see I moved the stop loss to break even, and it kept going up. But right now, I think it came up to the pivot, and we're kind of in no man's land on this pair. It's pretty big no man's land. I'd really love to see it come up, test this zone and this trend line, and we'd be plant some sell trades from there. Euro or British pound USD, I think we're going to go short. Finally going to go short on this pair. We came up, kind of tested this former R2. I was looking for another big push up to here to really seal the deal. And we may still get that. But I think we're going to come back down to this level, especially with the strength in the USD going to come back. Just because, people are going to be buying up dollars. It's still a safe currency. It's still the lead currency. And when it gets cheap, people with money buy dollars. It's not a bad play. It's kind of like buying gold, right? You can really never go wrong buying gold, unless you're buying it 2009. All right, I'm going to look for a double bottom in our make or break zone here, and I'm going to try to be a buyer or a seller in these zones. So I'm using this yellow make or break zone to kind of tell me if we bust through it with some oomph, I'm going to look for a retest and sell it down to the zone. All right, NZD CAD, active trade, no more. I'm going to look for that retest of that area for a sell trade. Because, guys, look, we hit R2. So the idea is if you hit R2, start to see we're oversold or overbought. If we're close to a former resistance zone, I look for that move back to this pivot, right? I'm actually going to move that down. Now, on the daily, these setups don't typically work very fast or as great as, this setup on an hourly chart if you catch that smaller move. Just for instance, we'll go back here, right? We hit R2 here. We never came back to this pivot. We kind of tried, but you can see we just went R2 to R2. Anytime you see R2 to R2 without hitting the pivot, it gets even more good for a drop, okay? You can't really call this a missed pivot because it went touch and go. But R2 to R2, yes, ma'am, this is coming back. I'm going to turn this one red. NZD Swiss franc, we can't seem to get above this level that I have as a make or break. So I'm trading on smaller time frame as resistance and looking for those moves. It's just not enough meat on the bone from here to the pivot. So I'm going to look for a bounce off this pivot to continue this bullish trend and see if we can't get a buy trade up to this R2 and then start looking for a quick sell trade. Because if we go back to our fundamentals, right, here is when everything shut down. Here's the recovery. Here's where it was before all of that. Well, we're kind of flirting with that level. So fundamentally, this is where you're going to have to weigh, is COVID coming back strong enough and globally, or is it just in America? And if it is just America, how does that affect these two countries' recovery? And will we come back down to, say, this level? That's what's really tough about trading right now, is we're going through something we've never gone through as a world. So, as a world economics. So we're looking for a double top. We didn't quite get there on these NZD pairs, right? So I'm a little hesitant to just jump into a sell trade because we're kind of in no man's land. NZD USD, we did double top. And like I said, guys, I'm anticipating some strength in the dollars. this is a perfect pair to scoop up some of those dollars and catch it at a really good price. Because here in America, we are being affected by this second wave, and that should be weakness in the dollar. Well, guess what happened last week? Lots of weakness, and we've all been anticipating when is the relationship between gold, the U.S. dollar, and what the Feds are doing with all this fake money we're printing. Well, that weakness in the dollar happened. It could just keep happening. But honestly, I don't think the rest of the world's going to let America get away with cheapening their dollar much more. USD CAD, again, I'm looking for a good bounce on this one. A really good bounce up. We had some strength in the Canadian dollar last week that kept it down. But this make or break zone is a really good buy opportunity as we're seeing. But we're just kind of sideways. And you can kind of see a head and shoulders pattern if you really look at bearish on this. So that's why I'm not jumping right in. Normally, I'd take my head and shoulders trade from up here. So I'm going to see what it does at that level. But I'm not going to get crazy trapped in this pair. USD Swiss franc, same thing. We're testing that strong level of support. Now, right at the peak of COVID, we got all the way down here. So one thing to note, if we bust through this area, retest it, I'm shooting at this area for my take profit. USD JPY, we're testing this support right now. So not a bad time to start looking bullish on this pair, especially with that strength in the dollar we're anticipating. Portfolio wide. I mean, right now, the best thing you could do if you believe that we're going to get some strength in the dollar this week is to go look for the best prices on the US dollar. JPY, heavy liquid pair, not a bad place to if we come back down to this area to look for it to make that move. USD Mexican peso. So clean it up. So we're kind of coming back up to this bearish zone. A couple weeks ago, we called out this trend line break, and some of my viewers had a really good sell trade off of it, and then the retest sell trade. So now it's time to start looking at this area as a resistance. Let's make it a little bit bigger. It's probably more like that here on the daily. So if we come back up in this area, not a bad play. And like I said, if strength comes back in the US dollar this week, a buy trade from where you're at is not a bad play either. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up the Sunday setup video. Don't forget to hit like and follow wherever you're catching this. Find me on, head on over to allenfx.com. Fill out the form. I don't send a bunch of BS emails, but what you will get is access to my Telegram channels where you can copy my trades right off my own live account. I send the signals. I will be honest, it hasn't been doing that well the last few weeks. We all go through these slow patches, but you'll also get information on how to take my apprentice, journeyman, or masterclass course, which I will be starting the masterclass courses September 1. So don't miss out because I have introductory pricing because I'm going to ask you for feedback to see how it went. And I'm also going to offer a 100% money back guarantee. If you take the course, you don't like it, you want your money back, I'll give it to you. Just set up a phone call with me. All right. Have a great Sunday. Let's make some money this week, guys. And make sure you're being safe out there.